City of Brownsville, pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene an executive session, a work session, and a regular meeting on Tuesday, January 8, 2019 at 4:20 p.m., 5:30 p.m., and at 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers and City Manager's Conference Room on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. We will begin with executive sessions. Executive Session 8, discussion pursuant to Section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Executive Session B, consultation with attorney pursuant to Section 551.0712 of the Texas Government Code on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter. Executive Session C, consultation with attorney pursuant to Section 551.0712 of the Texas Government Code on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter. In Executive Session D, consultation with attorney pursuant to Section 551.0712 of the Texas Government Code on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter.
Mayor, I move we go into executive session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Is it something that we have to do more in engineering and fix a problem? Is it an educational? Is it a police enforcement problem? What's the source of that? Projects, of course, you're familiar with projects. What are the most important projects we need to do? Partnerships. We're talking about partnerships. Reaching out to TxDOT, creating a partnership with TxDOT, reaching out with the other MPOs, working between cities and counties in a seamless, coordinated planning effort as part of the initiatives. And as I said before, it creates an opportunity to engage the public in a new vision to meet not just the needs of Brownsville, but the broader, in this case, transportation needs in the community. It's an honor to be invited to come down. A lot of what you're doing, we have done in our particular region for some time, being 3 MPOs in one region. It's a lot of work. I wish you well in the process of doing it, but I think the hard work is worth it to create a much bigger opportunity. Let me end with, I would much rather be a small fish in a big pond and have the opportunities of getting revenues from federal initiatives and state initiatives to be than to be that really big fish in a small pond and often overlooked in that process. So, Mayor, I'll stop there and see if there's any questions for me.
Michael, thank you for that presentation.
I'm going to, city manager and I guess city attorney, open it up for any questions you all may have of Mr. Morris at this particular point. I'd like to, since we've been going at this, kind of delayed a little bit, can we have the questions up until about 6:30? Is that fair? Okay. All right.
The only thing that I would ask is that you want to get my water, and we have very few people that have queued into the hallway, so I would just ask the city that in future references, when we have issues that are important to the public, it's very important to be transparent and involve them. But I think we need a bigger venue than this.
Okay. Is there? Why don't we move to the big? Why don't we move over there, Michael? If you could just join us over there, and we'll try it from there. Thank you.
you wish to have related to transportation or related to whatever that other event was, so it can't happen to you in transportation. The second thing you have under federal rule is the Metropolitan Planning Organization has to have a set of bylaws. And in those bylaws, you can stipulate in advance of your decision to create this organization what the rules of the road are with regard to protections of projects or allocations of revenue or future planning activities. I don't know if you probably didn't have federal protections in the previous issue you raised. It maybe did not have those two legal mechanisms, but under federal rule, the citizens of this region are protected through those two legal mechanisms, of which this commission is a founding member of and has a seat at the table to prescribe those conditions.
Okay. Anyone else have a question for Mr. Morris? Bill, why don't you come up? And Eddie, I think.
Thank you very much. My name is Bill Berg. I live in West Brownsville. I have a question about Dallas-Fort Worth and a couple of statements. One, how large was Dallas and how large was Fort Worth when those two entities joined as an MPO or a regional MPO? Brownsville is under 300,000. I suspect it's a bit under 300,000. And McAllen and Edinburgh, I believe, are in the vicinity of 200,000, but I don't know. And they're 70 miles apart. Was Dallas that small and was Fort Worth that small when they joined, or were they more mature cities, which is probably where we should head in the Rio Grande region? So that's my question. The other comment I have is I was a delegate at the the Texas Democratic Convention in, was it June? And during my lunch breaks, I was constantly finding myself finding defensive, it was in Fort Worth, people in Fort Worth explaining that they are not Dallas-Fort Worth, they are Fort Worth, and they are, of course, the better city. But where was that? And that is, I think, part of where the question about the university, where Brownsville, where not UTRGV, the small campus in the corner that's being swept under the table. So those are my questions.
Thank you, Bill. Michael?
So the original MPO in Dallas-Fort Worth included Fort Worth and Dallas. So under federal rules, any urbanized area that is over 50,000 is a metropolitan planning organization. So when the census developed the first DFW urbanized area in the 70s, you had a Fort Worth and a Dallas that was in place. But when that MPO was created, the original MPO board had every congressperson in the region, every commissioner, every council person. The original commission, supporting your point, had 168 members. That commission lasted about a month or two until they settled in on a more reasonable structure, because everyone was nervous what this was going to be. The other two MPOs that have been added is the urbanized area of Denton and the McKinney-Louisville area. So as the region continued to grow, Denton got over 50,000. They could have become their own MPO. McKinney-Louisville could have been their own MPO. They opted to be part of our MPO, but legally we are 3 MPOs housed in the same structure. Dallas-Fort Worth is 30 miles apart as part of that process, but 70 miles, the state of Maryland in land area and in population can fit inside the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan region. So we have distances far greater than 70 miles as part of our particular region. Dallas-Fort Worth has added 1 million people per decade since 1960. So we're at 7.5 million persons. Dallas and Fort Worth has a huge pride. So it is almost like Texas and A&M. if you're in Fort Worth, when I'm in Fort Worth, it's the Fort Worth, Dallas region. When I'm in Dallas, it's the Dallas-Fort Worth region. But most of it is kidding. Fort Worth claims, we're more neighborhood-based. Dallas is more ties and suits. But it's my job for them to get along and build a seamless transportation system.
Thank you, Michael. Eddie?
Hello, I'm Eddie Hernandez. I'm the Chamber of Commerce representative for the MPO. I had a couple of questions. One, we'd like to learn from possibly learn from you all. And I've been asking, I guess, our MPO, one of my suggestions is maybe we could visit with you all, for a day or something to see how you structured everything, because it's the how and the details. You caught my interest earlier when you mentioned our key concern is making sure that we're not against regionalization. We just want to make sure that everything's protected, that we're on equal footing, that type of thing. My question was how are you guys put together? How are the funds split? Is it based on population, or what kind of what kind of determination do you use? But I'd really appreciate it if we could maybe visit with you all to see, spend some time to flesh all that out.
So an observation comes to mind. I have 3 TxDOT districts in my region. Your district has 3 MPOs in its region, so it's a little different. I came here today as part of public service peer exchange program to help you. So I stand ready to help you in the future. We can bring staff people down and have a peer exchange with the MPO here and share a sandwich and go over issues or points or thoughts. Or my interest is public agencies helping public agencies mature the conversation and aid at maybe scary times to try to do the right thing. So I extend our staff to come. You're welcome to come to our region and meet with our staff, however the MPO wishes to do it.
Okay. Does anybody have another question? If not, we'll close this session. If anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to contact the city manager or his staff. And to your question, Eddie, I think we will address that at the MPO meeting the next time. Mark, wherever you are, if you're here, there you go. I think that a little bit more specificity with regards to the operation, I think that's what Eddie was looking for, and I think we're all looking for that as well. And perhaps maybe we'll report back to that either on our website or in our next meeting or whenever that occurs, okay? Anyway, Michael, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Consideration.
Thank you.
Just to let the public know, we will not be discussing letters B and C for the work session. So we'll go ahead and if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God and indivisible.
Let's pray.
Please remain standing for the invocation.
Father God, we thank you for your love, your grace, and your mercy. We thank you for the city of Brownsville. And Lord, as we enter into a new election season for the municipal positions, Lord, we ask you to lead and guide each person who's considering running as to whether to run or not to run, and help each of them run in a way that glorifies you and honors Brownsville. Help each of us to conduct ourselves in a way that preserves the unity in our city. Lord, we ask you to lead and guide our mayor and commissioners and every presenter for this meeting. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Next, we have the mayor's activity update.
Since we're starting off the new year, I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. I know this will be meaningful. It's going to be a lot of activity, as you can hear from the report that we just had. So thank everybody for being here, and we'll get ready to go to work.
Next, we have the Commissioners' Activity Update.
I have two things. One is both are really fun and free. One is that this Friday and Saturday, we will be kicking off the 10th challenge for the Brownsville area. This is, as you know, a partnership between the City of Brownsville Health Department and the University of Texas School of Public Health to bring a 3-month period of trying healthy eating and active living on for the new year. And we have over 10 years registered close to 10,000 people, lost hundreds and almost that in many cases thousands of pounds. And the program has been very successful in attracting partners, in attracting enthusiasm, in attracting return folks. And as I said, it's free. So please come out to the Brownsville Public Library, both at Southmost and on Central, on Friday evening between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. And if you can't make it Friday, come out on Saturday, the 12th, to Linear Park at the Farmers Market between 9 and noon. This season, it identifies extra funding for an extra raffle at the end of completing the challenge, unattached to the winners' funds that are also going to be available. The second thing is that in celebration of that 10 years, and also to thank some very special donors that I reached out to in September, we now have a beautiful, including handicap bicycle fleet for the City of Brownsville and a trailer to transport them. So on Saturday at 8 a.m., we're going to meet at the Chamber of Commerce and have a 6-mile ride for fun through the area, ending at the Farmers Market and the challenge registration. So there are 40 bikes available for use, first come, first served basis. It's free. The Chamber is handling registration. Starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, and all are welcome. It's a very low stress, a casual ride, ending up, as I said, at the Farmers Market. So please join us for riding with the Commissioner, and also thanking our sponsors for being so generous to the people of Brownsville.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else?
Mayor, over the holiday break, because I'm an educator, I have a better, more flexible schedule to be going about and doing our other duties. And I wanted to report that a lot of people will always say, well, it's election season and they're talking about now they're doing streets. Well, no, we have a maintenance plan, and it is for everybody to see. It's on our city website. It's on our public works. Well, the streets that are being addressed by public works, there's also streets that are being done by engineering that I haven't checked with Last to see if they're on the site, but I know that Public Works, we do have our streets on there, and it goes by district, it goes by the work that's being done throughout the year. So a lot of the times people will say, well, now they're talking about streets because they're coming up for re-election. No, it's not that. It's that our maintenance program runs a certain way, and we have those streets, and they're listed for everybody to see. It's public information. If you go to the city website, if you go to the Public Works section of the website, you can see the program at the bottom, and it lists the streets that are getting done. A lot of the times people are saying, when is my street going to be addressed? When is my street going to get done? The good thing about this is that if there is something of an urgency, if there's a sense of urgency on your street and you're within the schedule, your street is already up for maintenance, we can easily talk to Santana. We can make some kind of an arrangement, just depending on it. But it is scheduled out the way it is, but you can see if your street is up for maintenance, if it's up for repair through the Public Works Department, it is listed on there under the Public Works Department. And the reason I say this is, once again, like Pastor said, we're going into election season. Certain streets are going to be done throughout the city, within the districts, and I don't want any misconception of people saying, oh, well, not all the funding monies because of an election. No, that's the way our program runs. But once again, this is only for Public Works. It's not including the streets that are done through engineering. Thank you.
Okay.
So I just wanted to very quickly thank the Brownsville Parks Department. They put together an ice skating rink at the sports park. I know a lot of you went out there. I went out, I skated myself. I promise you that I am not lying when I say that I did not fall. But what I did see was so many dedicated parks staff members, and I just really wanted to give them a shout out for bringing something so unique and genius to the city of Brownsville, and not only doing that, but manning the hours that it took to put in, the skate rentals, the waivers, everything that went into it, maintaining the ice, and really lucky, just to let you guys know, that I found out that it's an event that's going to come back bigger and better hopefully this year. It's going to be brought before the commission. Cross your fingers. So if you're in the public and you had a good time, make sure you reach out to your city commissioners for support on that. And there was a second thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Today I got an inbox from the city of Brownsville to let me know that there was an 88-year-old man who went missing over the holidays. And the Brownsville Police Department and the Brownsville Fire Department worked tirelessly to make sure that he was safe. He was located thanks to the hard work of the firefighters and the police department working together, thanks to a drone that, was it the police department or the fire department drones? The fire department drones that we had invested in. So this drone that I think a few people complained about when we bought it because it was so expensive, wound up saving this 88-year-old man who was exposed to the elements and found in a brushy area. So I just want to give a round of applause to the Brownsville Police Department and the Brownsville firefighters. So often we forget that we live amongst heroes here at the City of Brownsville, and your hard work and sacrifice and dedication to our community members, especially the elderly, that sometimes we lose. We live so close to the border. You know, it's just a very scary thing to lose track of anybody in this area, but thanks to you and your hard work, thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, and don't worry, Santana, we were not going to call you, okay? City manager?
City manager's update?
Yes, Mayor, Council, just very quick. First of all, Happy New Year to the community and to the mayor and commissioners. My work continues with the 100-day plan. I'm still well within that. I'm in roughly around close to day 40. But I continue having my meetings with the community members that you all have asked that I consider meeting with. I'm close to being done. I'll be going into the next phase of having more operational type meetings with directors. I will mention that we've had the opportunity in this time frame, though, to have a couple of professional development workshops about building our culture. And while our value system is not fully developed as a team, I'll say that the focus is to cultivate an environment of collaboration and one of respect, integrity, accountability, and transparency, and one that these words are not just on a plaque on a wall somewhere, and that they aren't just buzzwords. Now, these aren't the words, but they're representative of these types of characteristics, but one that is lived by our employees on a daily basis in how we provide customer service, and how we serve each other, and how we serve the community, and how we serve you. And I'm just excited to see that there's been some great discussions, some crucial discussions about if we're going to be successful as an organization in support of realizing the community vision. It won't be the best strategy, it won't be the best plan, because that can fall to the wayside if we don't work together. So it's a teamwork approach, and just know that at the proper time, some of that will be extended to the commission, and hopefully sometime this spring we can have a goal setting retreat with the council to have some goals at least for 2019 to get the ball rolling on that. But the plan's ongoing. I've learned a lot about the community. I've heard good, bad, and the ugly and everything in between, but it's what I need to hear. And just know that I am still going to continue to have those meetings. These are just very focused meetings as part of that 100-day plan that I'm still going through.
Very, very good. Thank you so much.
Next, we have presentations, taller de permiso. Please step forward.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for having us here tonight to make a presentation on our project Taller de Permiso, and happy 2019, welcome back, and also welcome to our new city manager. My name is Cristina Patino-Houle, and with Celeste de Luna and Nancy Guevara, we work as part of an art collective called Las Imaginistas. The focus of our work is to use art as a tool for civic engagement and community building. As a collective, we're currently implementing two projects: Hacemos la Ciudad, which is a year-long program to imagine the future of art and equity in the city of Brownsville, and Taller de Permiso, a 2-year-long program that supports the development of microeconomies in the Buena Vida neighborhood through business incubation and decoding of permitting processes. Tonight, we're here to tell you about our work and progress on the first year of Taller de Permiso, and to introduce you to the work we have planned for the second year.
Our program began with a year of research and planning with community partners. Throughout 2017, we worked closely with the Buena Vida Housing Authority, Carlota Petrina Cultural Arts Center, Brownsville Wellness Coalition, the Brownsville Farmers Market, and UTRGV Business Incubation Program and Community Empowerment to understand the needs and assets of the Buena Vida community as they relate to the larger thematic needs and interests of the city of Brownsville. After conducting 5 focus group meetings, interviewing over 35 residents, and consulting with HABC and other partner organizations, we learned that equitable economic development and culturally sensitive economic opportunities were key community concerns. As the lowest income neighborhood in Brownsville with a median household income of $12,000 per year, the economic development needs of Buena Vida provide a window into some of the most pressing concerns for Brownsville at large. During our year of planning, we analyzed how art could be a tool to help support economic development for populations often marginalized, forgotten, or at times disenfranchised by traditional economic development strategies. We learned that a key challenge for micro business owners was understanding and navigating the municipal permitting process. Many low-income families felt as though they had resources to help lift themselves out of poverty, but that they could not understand how to utilize their resources because they found permitting for small business owners to be difficult to understand or cost prohibitive. The focus of our program then became investigating the specific challenges that low-income individuals experience to starting and operating their small businesses and problem-solving how community-based art could be used to remove, ease, or address these obstacles.
We developed a 3-part programmatic plan based on the range of concerns residents expressed. The first concern we identified was that people need the opportunity to dream an idea before they can make a plan to implement it. For example, it's difficult to imagine what you want to be possible when you are mired in the daily challenges of trying to survive. And in response to that challenge, we developed a solution that we would generate spaces for community dreaming. We would use art as a tool to build witness to new visions for the future. The second concern we identified was permitting processes can seem confusing or restrictive to first-time low-income micro-business owners. So we developed 2 solutions. 1, create a community of grassroots leaders to support equitable economic development, and 2, build capacity of would-be business owners and use art as a tool to make things that are difficult to understand accessible. The third concern we had identified by the community was the city may not know which processes pose particular challenges to the constituents that they hope to serve. And as a solution to that, we developed, or we know rather, that art can be a tool for bridging communication between decision makers and community members, thereby opening more channels for feedback and expanding opportunity to imagine collaborative solutions. In the last year of our program, we have focused on these 3 concerns and the collaborative community solutions that were developed to implement a number of different programs to train small business owners.
A snapshot of our 2018 program year includes the creation of a small micro business vendor training program called the Emprendedores Program. During 2018, we trained 16 micro business vendors. Each program participant received 8 weeks of program training, valued at $24,000 in tuition fees to low-income participants at no cost, free childcare during program activities, industry-specific technical training from Brownsville Wellness Coalition, and business incubation training from UTRGV. Support in designing logos and brand identity, consultation support in preparing to vend in pop-up markets, and 16 new vendors were trained. Another key component of our 2018 programming included the creation of Youth Art and Civic Engagement Program. During this program, we facilitated 12 workshop classes with 6 young artists ages 16 to 24. Each participant received stipends for their contribution of time and skills during the program, $7,000 in free instruction on civic education to 6 youth leaders, access and training in the usage of media equipment, including audio recorders, digital cameras, and video cameras, capacity building and investigative skills, including hands-on research time and training at the Brownsville Public Library in researching digital archives, capacity building and civic engagement, site visits with key municipal decision makers from the City of Brownsville, including the representatives from the Planning Department, Health Department, and City Council. Additionally, we held major community art events that engaged over 200 people ages up to 75. At these events, we saw participation of a wide range of demographics across race, income level, age, and ability. We also saw engagement with a wide range of community partners and diverse set of stakeholders, including bike communities, nonprofit leaders, HACB residents, and regional artists. Lastly, throughout the year, we worked to develop community communication with representatives from the City of Brownsville through regular meetings. Throughout the year, we attended or brought community members to over 10 meetings and events with city officials from the Planning Department, Health Department, and City Council. 2018 was a year that allowed us to do further research in the community to better understand the particular needs of small business owners in the region. With the help of our thought partners, we were also able to build the capacity of 16 small business vendors and 6 young civic leaders, while also inviting over 200 members of the Brownsville community to dream about the future of equitable economic development and the cultivation of cultural resources with us.
As we look to 2019, we have 4 primary goals for our second year of programming. We'd like to deepen communication between micro business owners and decision makers at the city level, expand vendor opportunities for micro business owners, strengthen network community systems for micro business owners, and cultivate the voices of our target populations as leaders and valued stakeholders in equitable economic development and building towards sustainability of program successes beyond 2019. To achieve these goals, we will strengthen networked community systems for micro business owners by we will expand vendor opportunities for micro business owners by creating a Buena Vida Business Advisory Board. We'll strengthen the network support systems for micro business owners through the Buena Vida Advisory Board. We will deepen connection between micro business owners and decision makers by creating a performance for the future of micro economies in Brownsville. We'll also create a mobile negotiation space to connect community members to city officials. And we'll create Buena Vida Imagination permits. To expand vendor opportunities for micro business owners, we will begin by piloting a monthly Buena Vida market and aim to create a shared co-op community kitchen. Lastly, we'll cultivate the voices of our target populations as leaders and stakeholders in the equitable economic development of the region by developing a toolkit of community permitting recommendations and best practices that can be presented to the city and distributed to other municipalities and residents with interest in replicating our process. The work of Las Imaginistas through the program of Taller de Permiso is developed as an opportunity to support the region in taking a breath. So many times, day-to-day life can be so demanding that it's difficult to take a step back and imagine how we can become better at dreaming together. Through our project, we imagine with city officials and community members how these two entities can function better in partnership. Through this investigation, we hope to breathe life into new possibilities for the future of equitable economic development in the region.
What makes this program exceptional is the collaboration of the city to this endeavor to imagine with the community how to meet the needs of all residents, and most especially the most vulnerable. Nationally, the work of Las Imaginistas, the City of Brownsville, and Taller de Permiso are being noted as groundbreaking and noteworthy in pioneering new opportunities for municipal creative partnerships. The work being done here has been featured in documentaries like The Roots of Texas-Mexico Food, widely read publications including Forecast, and conferences including the Trans-Border Art Festival and Project Row Houses.
Together, we are building a more equitable and just future for residents of our great city and also building a model that other cities are now looking towards as they think about how to employ new strategies for communal planning and economic development. As our elected officials, we want to thank you for your support in continuing to foster a brighter future for Brownsville, and invite you to continue to accompany us in year 2 of this program as we further strengthen ties between the community and civic leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job. Great presentation. Thank you all so much.
Next, we have consent agenda items A through L.
Move to approve?
All those in
Mayor,
favor?
Mayor, I have one item on the minutes from December 4th meeting. On item number 20, I'd like to make a correction there. It says, at this time, Commissioner Neese read a statement, but I also tendered an audit committee, independent audit report. So I'd like to add that I tendered the independent audit to the city secretary that was prepared by Burton, McCumber, and LaGuardia.
Okay. Is there a second on the?
Second.
Second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, next item.
Next, we have our public hearings. Public hearing number 6, public hearing and action on first reading on ordinance number 2018-898-EE to re-adopt Chapter 74, Parks and Recreation, Section 74-18, Local Standards of Care for an additional year as per ordinance guidelines.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. I bring this item before you today in the public, and it's an annual readoption for the local standards of care. By adopting these standards via ordinance, it means that the city meets the requirements to be exempt from the required license as per the Texas Human Resources Code, regulation of certain facilities, homes, and agencies that provide child care services. These standards of care address such topics as staff ratios, staff training, health and safety, provides a mechanism for monitoring and enforcing these standards, informs parents that we are not licensed by the state, receives or are allowable to receive a nominal membership fee, and that we conduct background checks of our employees. We recommend adoption in order to be in compliance with the state of Texas and their Human Resource Code. It is a public hearing.
Very good. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to close public hearing? Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to
Motion.
approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have the public comment period. No one signed up, so we'll continue to the next agenda item. Items for individual consideration. Action item number 8, consideration and action to appoint or reappoint one member to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board Committee.
Mr. Adrian Delgado completed the term before and is eligible for reappointment and has submitted his application, would like to be reappointed.
Move to reappoint Mr. Adrian Delgado.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much, Lee.
Thank you.
Item number 9.
Next, we have action item number 9, consideration and action on resolution number 2019-001, ordering and calling a general municipal election to be held on May the 4th, 2019, for the purpose of electing 4 members to the city commission and dealing with related matters.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
May 4th it is? May the 4th be with you.
I'm sorry.
May the 4th be with you.
Oh, thank you. Item number 10.
Next, we have action item number 10, consideration and action to authorize the city manager to sign an agreement between the city of Brownsville, Brownsville Metro, and Texas Southmost College, herein referred to as the TSE, to provide transportation services that will also be open to the public.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. RJ Garza, Assistant Director with Brownsville Metro. With me tonight, we have Tracy Orcias. She's our transit planner, with B Metro. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank a couple of TSC guests that are here with us tonight.
Good.
There's Mr. Armando Ponce,
Nice.
who's the Executive Director of Student Life and Civility, and also Mr. Larry Rideau. He's the Vice President for Student Services with TSC.
Welcome. Welcome.
We've had several meetings with these gentlemen, and we have reviewed and discussed the options providing transportation services for TSC students. In your packet for consideration, you will find an agreement establishing a cooperative and mutually beneficial partnership with the City of Brownsville and Texas Southmost College. The primary goal here is to address the needs from the students that require transportation services to and from TSC and to connect to the iTech campus. We are extremely excited to introduce to you for your consideration this TSC pilot project. Ms. Tracy will provide a route details and benefits that this service offers.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. Beginning tomorrow, January 9th, through May 16th, 2019, Route 14 will be realigned. The benefits are as follows. TSC students will ride the City of Brownsville service for free Monday through Thursday on all fixed routes. Realignment connects Texas Southmost College with the International Technology Education and Commerce Center. We've added 4 hours of service to extend our Route 14 Monday through Thursday, and we will make service available from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. We've added 2 new bus stops, and this route will be open to the general public at the applicable fare rates.
As you can see, you want to go ahead and discuss the route a little bit?
As you can see on the television, the blue line that you see, that's our regular route. The orange dotted line is what we will be where we will be extending the routes.
If there's not any questions, B Metro staff requests your approval to allow Mr. Noel Bernal, City Manager, to execute this agreement.
I think it's a great idea that you are accommodating these students that really rely on public transportation. That's a good move. Thank you.
Well, thanks to Texas Southmost College. They've
Their leadership.
met with us, and we really appreciate their support as well.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Action item number 11, consideration action to acknowledge the Finance Director's cash investment report for the City of Brownsville for fiscal year ended in September 30th of 2018.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, I'll be brief on this report. You get in the detailed information submitted in your packet. The investment portfolio as of September 30th had interest-bearing demand accounts at 12%, public funds investment pools at 40.58%, certificate deposits at 47.41%. Limits on the types of security, interest-bearing accounts, certificate deposit, and public investments were within our policy limits. Weighted average maturity dates is 63.5 days. The maximum allowed by our investment policy is 270 days, and the weighted average yield is 1.16%. On our interest, on our investments. That concludes the presentation. You have any questions?
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.